Hello, everyone. My name is Tyler. I'm an evangelist here at Zoho. Well, we're going to talk about how we can make marketing easy, how we can make it fit into your tasks as a business owner so you don't have to spend as much time in your day to day activities, making social media posts and writing emails and doing all of that types of stuff. So, in today's session, we're going to talk about our marketing goals. So, we'll look at the goals that we're trying to achieve when we're marketing. We'll see a strategy to accomplish those goals, and then we'll look at, for the most part, how Zoho's tools fit into that strategy that we have developed. Before we actually get into the marketing applications, I just want to break down how you can access these applications. One of our strengths at Zoho is also one of our weaknesses. We had so many tools that you can kind of get paralyzed with the offering. And when you first started with Zoho One, you were probably like, where do I begin? Like, what app do I use first? I have no idea because there's so many of them. And then you poke around in them, and then you just get that paralysis by analysis. Like, I don't know where to start. So we need to have like a little graphic that we've created so we can figure out how to access these apps. If you want to get a full suite of applications, we usually break down our suites by department. So in this session, we'll mostly focus on apps within Zoho Marketing Plus, which is a suite we offer. There's also Zoho CRM Plus, which has a lot of marketing applications. We'll talk about those. So now we're going to hop into our marketing goals. Like, what are we trying to achieve? These are the three initial goals that all work into one final goal. The first thing that we're trying to do is reach prospects. So that'll be like the initial outreach, the brand awareness. That'll be like cold calling, cold emailing, sending out prospecting emails, other things like that. And we'll look at some examples. Then once we've reached out to people, we want to convert them. And conversion can mean a couple different things in a business sense. In this sense, we're talking about creating marketing qualified leads, and then we're talking about passing these leads over the sales team. And this is something that's very crucial. A lot of the times as marketers, we spend so much time getting creative, doing cool, interesting marketing activities, maybe undertaking some cool guerrilla activities. And then we may not actually hand all the leads that we generate over to sales in a timely manner, or we have a manual process that makes the handoff slow. So even if we generated the most piping hot leads, if it takes us a week to give those leads to sales, they might already be cold, and it might make it difficult for sales to close them. So what we want to do is set up integrations, and I'll show you a lot of the integrations that you can enable within our marketing toolkit so that that handoff happens instantly. It is automatic, and then there's no actual manual processes that you have to do to get those leads to sales. So that's what we'll talk about when we look at conversion. And then finally, once we've converted these customers, that doesn't mean we're done. We don't make a customer and then just throw them away. We need to keep supporting them, and we need to keep engaging them. If we increase their lifetime value, which is what we can do by increasing their loyalty and making them advocates, then we can end up earning more money. We can do some cross-sells, some upsells. We can get them to upgrade, things like that. And ultimately, all this goes into driving sales and generating revenue, which is really what we're trying to achieve at the end of the day. That's what all the directives that we get from our bosses, or if we're the boss, that's the directives we give to our employees. That's ultimately what we're trying to get people to do. So hopefully in this session, I'll impart on you that Zoho's marketing toolkit gives you all the tools you need to accomplish your marketing goals. We're going to separate this into your marketing strategy. So I define these goals. We're going to use these goals for that marketing strategy. So we first want to reach people. We then want to convert them into marketing qualified leads or customers, and we then want to engage them. This is a very loose mapping of the apps and where they can fit into spots in your marketing strategy. Another thing to note about this is all of these goals and all of these different sections of our strategy, they work on a continuum. So even though we might reach people with a tool in marketing automation, that doesn't mean we can't also engage them with a tool in marketing automation. Like, emails can be used to convert people, they can be used to reach people, and then like a customer newsletter can be used to engage people. So you can use a lot of these marketing activities throughout your strategy. Now we want to look at how can all of these apps work together. When we have, 20 different marketing applications, how do we get them all to work together seamlessly? And what we're going to take a look at quickly is a customer case study. So we're going to look at what one of our customers, iTrust and Media Group, did to automate their marketing with Zoho. So some background on them. They provide software engineering innovation for their customers. They had an issue automating, though. They had an issue automating their marketing process, and we'll have a full session on how you can automate your marketing process later. So we'll look at different ways that iTristan could have automated to make your process easier. The next problem that they faced was that they lacked a tool that synced with their CRM. So this goes back to that crucial point I made earlier about us handing our marketing qualified leads to sales as quickly as possible so they can make that sale as soon as possible. And then finally, they had issues providing contextual and personalized content because leads were coming to them from so many different ways. Most of you are business owners. You could be generating leads from like a lead generation form on your site. You could be generating leads from social media marketing. You could be generating leads from email marketing. Maybe you're cold emailing or cold calling. There's 4 different ways that leads are getting into your marketing funnel. But what you want to do is have a way to track how they're getting into your funnel. So when they're later on talking to sales or talking to someone else in marketing, we can know what they went through in our process, and then we can have contextual conversations. Let's say, for example, someone came from a social media giveaway. We're going to want to know that they came from that. So when the salesperson reaches out to them, they can say, hey, it looks like you entered this giveaway. What made you enter it? You know, why is this something that's important to you, etc. And so what iTristan did was they switched to an application called Zoho Marketing Automation, which there will be a full session on later, because of its automation features. Because they were sick and tired of all the manual processes, they switched to marketing automation. They extensively used a feature called Journeys, which is a way for you to set up a pathway that changes the content that you deliver to someone based on their own actions. So I'll give a quick example of what a journey might be. Let's say we send 2 emails out to people. One person opens the email and one person doesn't. We don't want to deliver those 2 people the same content because they interacted with you differently. So what we can do is in marketing automation, we can set up a journey. So if someone opens an email, we deliver them different content than if someone didn't open an email. Now that's the simplest journey I could come up with off the top of my head, but we'll take a look at a screenshot later that makes it a little more complex. And so now what I want to do is just go through a bunch of different examples of ways that you can use Zoho's marketing toolkit to spread your message to your target audience. So what we're going to do here is go through screenshots of different applications that we have within Zoho's marketing suite, and you can see some examples of how you might be able to integrate these into your process. So here's a newsletter form on a website. You can reach people with a newsletter. A newsletter could be built in marketing automation. It could be built using Zoho Forms and then integrated with campaigns. There's multiple different ways you could do this. You could nurture people with a journey in marketing automation. So this is a screenshot of what the journey builder looks like in marketing automation. I'll go through this very quickly, even though I know it's small. Up on the top, we have a trigger. This is a form submission. So what this is saying is that anytime someone submits a form on our website, maybe like this example form here, anytime someone submits that form, marketing automation will deliver them a text message dependent on where they filled that form out from. So we can see here, if they're from the US, they'll receive a welcome text for US customers. If they're from the UK, they'll receive a welcome text for UK customers, and so on and so forth. So we can deliver content to them based on their own actions and their own like demographics and criteria and etc. You can reach people with a website. We have Zoho Sites. Zoho Sites is a full-fledged site builder. It's akin to Wix. It's akin to Squarespace. Zoho Sites is an especially useful tool, though, because of the integrations that exist within other marketing applications. So for all of you on Zoho One, if you build a site in Zoho Sites, it'll be extremely easy to set up a chatbot on your site. It'll be extremely easy to set up PageSense, which is a conversion rate optimization tool. It'll be extremely easy to set up a lot of these other integrations. You can, of course, reach people with an event using Zoho Backstage. Zoho Backstage is our event marketing and management platform. Everything that you've seen here today, all throughout today and tomorrow, has been run on Zoho Backstage. So it is a solution that works for SMBs and enterprise level customers. And then obviously you can reach with the webinar using Zoho Webinar. You can also hold meetings. Since we have so many apps, people get confused of what applications to use when I'm undertaking this activity. So what I tried to do with this graphic was break down, if you're trying to build a page online, if you're trying to have a customer-facing page online, what app should you use? We should use Zoho Sites, Zoho Landing Page, or Zoho Backstage if it's an event page. If you're reaching out through emails, you can use Zoho Campaigns, Zoho Marketing Automation, or CRM. For phone outreach, you can use Zoho Voice, which is our telephony system, and then so on and so forth. We don't need to go through all of these in depth. But now that we've talked about ways that we can reach, I want to talk about ways that we can convert, how we can bring marketing and sales together. And so what I'm going to showcase in this section is all of the automations that exist, or all of the ways that we can sync our marketing applications to sales applications so that leads move from our marketing funnel to our sales funnel with no effort from us. So you can sync Zoho Campaigns, which are our email marketing software, to CRM. It doesn't have to be Zoho CRM. You can sync it to all different types of CRM. Obviously, not every single one of them out there. We haven't built integrations for all of them, but most of the main players in the market, we have integrations for. And so then what you can do is you can easily segment people. You can easily segment people and send targeted emails to people who just signed on. Maybe you send a welcoming email. You can send people who have been with you for a year or 2 years and congratulate them and give them like an anniversary email, maybe a product discount. This can be done when you can take information from CRM and move it to campaigns and vice versa. You can do the exact same thing with Zoho Marketing Automation and CRM. The only difference here is that when you're using marketing automation, you can now bring in a lot of other tools. So you can start to set up journeys with the information that you're bringing out of CRM. You can even convert leads from Zoho Social. So if you're using Zoho Social, which is our social media management tool, and you're posting on Twitter or X or Instagram, I guess Twitter and X is the same thing, and posting on Instagram or something, and someone ats you or mentions you, you can actually take that ad and convert that person to a lead in your CRM and then reach out to them. If you're using Zoho Backstage and you're hosting all of your registrations in Backstage, you can have all of those event registrations integrated into your CRM. And then when you go into your CRM account, this is an example of a contact record in CRM. We can see that there's a section for the campaigns module, so we can see the event that they went to. So for a salesperson reaching out to this person, we know that they went to an event. We can ask them about it. We can ask them what their favorite part is and if there's anything that they'd like to discuss with us regarding the event. You can convert leads using Sales IQ. So Sales IQ is a live chat that you can host on your website. You can proactively reach out to people if you see them perusing through your site, but you can also set up like a Zobot or an Answer Bot, which are like ways that you can have guided conversations. You can set up canned response. So if someone asks certain questions, you can have it spit out certain answers. This is what it'll look like on the back end. You can convert leads with a giveaway through social. I had mentioned that before. If you want to have a lead generation form on your site, which is one of the most common ways that people generate leads, you could build one using Zoho Forms or build one using Zoho CRM. And then you could, of course, convert leads with a webinar. You could take all the registrations from a webinar and move them into your CRM account. So here's some more apps that we have. These are the different applications to meet your conversion marketing needs. Again, we don't need to go through this in depth. One of the things that I didn't mention, if people were wondering if we had this, do we have an e-commerce platform? Yes, we do. It's called Zoho Commerce. You'll probably notice that a lot of our applications are actually very aptly named. Zoho Commerce, Zoho Forms, Zoho Survey. Survey is a survey builder. Forms is a form builder. Zoho Commerce is an e-commerce store. So it's pretty easy to find our applications that way. If you're offering a subscription service, you can use Zoho Billings. That's a way for you to bill people, another aptly named application. And then finally, if you have some intelligent customization needs, or you have advanced requirements that some of the off-the-shelf applications don't fit, you can actually create custom apps with Zoho Creator, which is a low-code custom app builder that you can use to build apps with our proprietary scripting language called Deluge, which we will not get into in these presentations. And then finally, once you've converted people, once you put them in your CRM, once your sales team has closed them, we want to keep them happy. We want to keep them coming back. We want them to be successful with our product or our service, and we want them to be so successful that they stay on with us longer, and that maybe they upgrade and maybe they pay us a little bit more. So we can send satisfactions with surveys, which is I just mentioned, Zoho surveys. We can engage using a loyalty program with Thrive. So Zoho Thrive is a relatively new application that was introduced into Zoho, I think it was about 2 years ago. Thrive is a loyalty program and affiliate marketing application. So a loyalty program, the best way to describe it is if we all remember, like, remember when you used to go to like a sandwich shop and they'd give you the punch card, and if you got it punched 10 times, you'd get your 11th sandwich would be free. You can set up that type of stuff. That's the most simple way I could describe it, but you can set up more sophisticated versions of that with Thrive. You can also set up like VIP programs. So like if you'll remember this for like for hotels or for flights, if you fly enough with someone, you get into the silver tier, or you get into the VIP tier where you get extra benefits. All of that can be set up with Zoho Thrive. Within Zoho Thrive, there's also an affiliate marketing program. So if you want to do some like influencer marketing activities and you want to give someone a special link for them to send out to their audience so that they can have their audience, buy products through their link, they get a little cut of it, and then you get another marketing avenue. You can do that with Zoho Thrive as well. You can, of course, engage with the customer event. That's what we're doing with you right now. Hopefully, it's relatively engaging. And then you can engage with customers in a community space. This is a freshly baked brand new application in Zoho. A community space is another way for you to offer VIP programs, or just a way for you to offer a place for your customers to come together and form a community. So an example of this would be like, let's say you're a gym owner and you have classes that are yoga classes, and you have classes that are cycling classes, and you have classes that are like lifting classes. You can set up these different spaces in community space so that people can go on to the community and say, hey, I just did the yoga class with Satish. She was amazing. Everyone else should try her. And people can chime in and say, yeah, I loved her. You can also set stuff that is behind a paywall. So if you want to have like a VIP program, or there's something that people pay for to get access to, special offerings that you only give to certain people, you can set that up within community space as well. So here's some more apps to fit your engagement needs. We don't need to go through all of these again. But the last thing that I'll touch on is we talked about ways that you can reach, engage, and convert your leads. But once we've turned them into customers, once we've brought them through the entire marketing and sales cycle, how do we go back and look to see what was working and what wasn't? How do we refine our process? Well, we would do that with a bunch of reporting features that exist in some of our applications within the marketing suite and some of our other applications within Zoho. So if we have customer-facing pages, like with Zoho Sites, or with really any other site builder, or we're using a site built from Zoho Backstage, or we're using a landing page, what we can do is connect Zoho PageSense to that. Zoho PageSense is a conversion rate optimization tool. So what you're able to do is take a little snippet of code, add it to your site, and then you can see a bunch of different ways of how people engage with your site. You can see where they're clicking on your site. You can see actually their mouse, and you can see how they're scrolling throughout your site to see if something is broken on your site. So once you're able to see how people are engaging with your site, you're able to actually kind of induce them to do specific actions by changing up the way that your site is formatted. So you're able to see how they're engaging with it. And then with those engagements, you can make insights to say, hey, no one's clicking on this button that I think is really important. Maybe I should move it up higher. Maybe I should make it more starkly contrast with the rest of my site so it's more noticeable. Those are some really simple insights you could make with PageSense. You can create a simple CRM marketing attribution report within Zoho CRM. So what this will do is take all of your leads from your marketing activities, and you'll be able to track things like, what campaigns am I running that are the top revenue generating? You can then, of course, allocate more resources to the ones that have earned you more money, and then likely cut the ones that didn't earn you enough. And then finally, this is a kind of like meaty dashboard, so I wouldn't get, too into the weeds with it, but you can create a really in-depth marketing ROI dashboard in Zoho Analytics. So Zoho Analytics is a business analytics and reporting tool. Business intelligence and reporting tool, I should say. What this allows you to do is bring in data from multiple different sources. So if you're someone who is running with third-party tools like Google Ads, for instance, you're able to bring in all the data from your Google Ads manager, mix that with your CRM data, and mix that with your financial data so you can figure out who's been clicking on your ads, and then also who clicked on them, then went through your sales funnel, and then actually purchased from you. Because if you're running Google Ads, what you'll see on the Google Ads manager is what the cost per click was, how many clicks you got, how many impressions you got. And that's a decent way to figure out how your ads are doing. But what you really care about is how many people click the ad and then actually purchase from you. You don't really care at the end of the day how many people clicked your ad and didn't buy. And so the only way to figure that out is to blend your CRM and your financial data as well. So you can see who actually purchased from your ads. And you can do that within Zoho Analytics. Coming in right on time. Hopefully, we've seen some of the different tools that you would need to accomplish your marketing goals. And that's all I have for you.